Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love Season 11, Episodes 8. Why am I always on here guessing? I hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing well. I'm a little discombobulated. I had 2 espresso martinis at home. My friend made them, and they were really good, but don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. Probably nothing, though. I'm chilling. So let's talk about what happened on the show. First of all, why the hell is everybody talking about figuring out and trying to narrow down my options and we're at the house. If you have 3 to 4 options going into the house, thumbs down, boo, throwing tomatoes. You're supposed to have 2 options coming into the house, preferably 1. What's going on here? Don't piss me off. Okay, so nephew Tyler Perry meets with the gentleman because they need to discuss who's going to be going home. I already knew that the discussion was going to narrow itself down to either Cardi or Devon going home. I figured it was going to be Devon over Cardi just because Devon is quite delusional about the options that he has available to him. And I'm going to talk about that. So the ladies meet up. They discuss how all of the dates went. They discuss what they saw and who might need to go home. So we pick up where we left off with that. And so they decide that they are going to have a meeting with both Cardi and Devon. At this meeting, Cardi comes in and he immediately spills some of Ashley's drink, which was a bad omen for the rest of the evening. He didn't even ask for a napkin. Ashley ended up asking for one. She explains to Cardi that some of the ladies feel like you're not being vulnerable, you're not being open, you're not being transparent. Cardi feels like he is, and I do believe Cardi is, but he's only doing it with certain people. But when it comes to the other ladies who are interested in him or who he might be interested in, he is not doing so. So it's not faring him well in that regard, but he is still ready to love. We get over to Devon. I really don't know what world this boy is living in. You remember originally I felt bad for him and I felt like he came a little bit better the second time around when he had the second opportunity, and I was proud of him, and I still feel that way. But Devon sits down with Shannon, and Shannon was looking at him like he was a damn fool, and rightfully so, because he sits down with Shannon and tells her, after she explains she's not really sure where she stands with him, and it was uncomfortable sitting there watching him, like, I expected you to show up and show out and say, I was your number one connection. Instead of saying, you know what, Shannon, I don't know why I didn't do that, because you definitely are one of my top connections. This man says, well, it kind of wavers. Sometimes it's you, and sometimes it's Dominique, who's been one of my top from the very beginning. And then Ashante, where the hell did she come from? When were you and Ashante ever connected? Where were you and Ashante ever? Have they been on a date? When were him and Ashante ever a thing? And I'm looking like Ashante don't want you. Are you y'all? I could have threw something in my TV when he said Ashante's climbing up the ranks. Baby, we about to go to the house. This is episode 8 or 9 or whatever. We are about to go on the trip. Should nobody be climbing nowhere? You should have the same solid people who you like narrowed down to 1 or 2. And if anybody is climbing, it's the 1 or it's the 2. Dominique don't want you. Dominique was just kind of spreading herself around to make sure she did not get eliminated early. Ashante don't want you. Shannon was your best bet. You guys correlate. You guys complement one another. And I think Shannon knew that. You was the only one who didn't know. And that's why I don't be feeling sorry. Remember, I said some people don't know they place in the circle of life. And I can't feel bad for you when you don't. I understand you got to aim high and then you'll land amongst the stars. But sometimes you need to just go for the damn star. Don't aim too high. Don't go towards the planet. The star is where you want to be, because that's what you are. I could not understand it at all. And I understood why Shannon was looking at him like he was a damn fool, because she should have been. Devon, you got Ashante. Ashante is climbing up the ranks. How? When did you? This is why y'all need to stay off them phones. Them phones have y'all thinking y'all got connections with people that you would never have. Ashante strike me as a cool girl. Like, you know, you could talk to her and you could feel like y'all have a connection, and she just cool with you. She just think you cool. She not trying to date you. Heavenly Father, give me strength. But they send Devon on home. And he did cop to the fact that he has some work to do in regards to, like, he should have finalized his decision. Yes. So I'm glad he at least realized that. But girl, him and that turtleneck had me confused. Anyways, it's time to head on over to the house. So you see people in their respective vehicles, chit-chatting and talking about what they plan to do when they get to the house, talking about their various connections, talking about narrowing down their connections and figuring out just craziness. Bellow and Dominique are pretty much locked in. I don't even know why they taking us through all of this. I told y'all they were going to pretty much be in game, and I still believe that. They're riding down. You got Steve, you got Ashante, Lauren in a different vehicle, and everybody's getting to where they need to get to. They show up to the house. Everybody's excited. I didn't like the way that Dominique went into the bedroom that Shannon had already claimed and pretty much essentially moved her stuff out and said, I didn't see your stuff, and moved her stuff in. I wanted Shannon to stand up for herself a little bit more, but I'm sure she didn't want to start any drama, especially since they had just gotten there. But I kind of wish she would have said, I don't know where you and Bellow are going to sleep, but you won't be sleeping in here because I already claimed my room. Or I would have been like, oh, cool. All three of us going to be in here then. Which area, y'all? What side of the bed you on? Because I'm not leaving. You saw my stuff in here when you came, and don't be trying to kick me out. But maybe she was trying to keep the peace. I don't know. But I didn't like the way Dominique did that, and it definitely made me look at her sideways because that wasn't a girl thing to do. I didn't like it, bitch. Okay? I didn't like it at all. I just got to go ahead and say that word. I don't want to. I don't want to be cussing on here, but I have to because what was that? And Bello, why you at? But I guess he was trying to stay out of women's business. Nephew Tyler Perry comes in and lets them know that one of the ladies are going to be leaving the house next. And so the gentleman will get to decide who that will be. And after that, it's on, put your best foot forward, make your connections, talk to people. You're going to be here with each other all night for the weekend. Figure it out. And so that's what everybody is setting out to do. We see a conversation between Shannon and Darius. I forgot that Darius was one of Shannon's connections. Darius said he felt like Shannon was judging him. I don't really know if I felt like there was judgment going on as much as confusion. Shannon wanted to know, why would you stay with somebody for 11 years and not want to marry them? I'm definitely not trying to be with somebody that long. Darius says he was young and it was a different time and try to understand. I'm not trying to understand none of that. I don't care. 11 years is a long time. You went from young to being not young. So what was up? He then says that she was in the adult entertainment industry. Shannon said, what's that? Like, what do you mean an adult entertainer? She was a stripper. Now, I think Shannon was shocked by it. I didn't feel like she was judging. It was more so like, okay, so what kind of women do you like? Because I'm definitely not giving stripper at all or adult entertainment. So what do you really like? Now, that was in his past and it was a long time ago, but it would make me wonder, like, am I your actual type of lady, or do you like a lady who's a little bit more, I don't want to say, on the scene with hers, or maybe a little bit more in the streets, but not in the streets in a bad way, if that makes sense. Darius is just telling her, like, I feel that Darius is saying that he felt judged by the situation. And Shannon was like, I'm confused, though. Like, what kind of woman do you want? What kind of woman do you like? And why did you think you could change her? Because Darius says he got with her thinking that he could change her. And this is a lot of problems. This is a lot of problem with some of the guys. Like, you get with somebody, you like what they have to offer, you like how they look, you like what they're doing, and then you want to tame them. It's like getting with a woman who likes to go out a lot and then trying to get her to stay home. Getting with a woman who is super duper freaky and trying to get her to go church girl. Well, them church girls be freaks too. But trying to get her to be like real prudish and all that. You knew who she was when you met her. If you are going to try to change her, then you probably don't need to be with her. If anybody wants to make changes, they have to do it because they want to, not because you're trying to force them or guide them into some kind of change. Okay, so that wasn't going to work. So Shannon is kind of looking at Darius like, I don't really know about you, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean, was there a smidge of judgment? Yes, it was, but not too much. Not too much, because I would have been trying to understand it too. This part was a bit awkward and uncomfortable. Okay, so you see Steve and Donna talking. They're having a little bit of back and forth banter. They're getting into a little conversation. Steve lets us know at this point that he has 4 connections, and it's just unacceptable. It is unacceptable at this time to have that many connections. Shannon wants to make sure she's putting her best foot forward, so she goes over there and she interrupts and she asks if they want to come and sit on the couch and they can talk. And Steve is irritated by this. He says that he didn't really like that she came over, interrupted their conversation, because now what are all 3 of them about to talk about? Because clearly I'm trying to get a little closer to Donna. And when they go over and sit down, Vince kind of interjects. So now it's a foursome. And of course, Donna kind of veers more towards Vince. They end up talking. And then Shannon and Steve end up talking to the point where she got her legs draped over him. So, Shannon, she's shooting her shot now. I can't be mad. But you can tell Steve was uncomfortable with it. He didn't like it. And it makes me wonder how interested he is in her versus his other connections. I honestly feel like people are just using Shannon as a safety net or just in case type of girl, but none of them are really as interested in her. Kind of like what her friend said. She's not a first option to any of these guys. And that is, it's disappointing, right? But then you see Donna and Vince talking to the side. I don't even remember exactly what they were discussing, but I just know the scene was a bit uncomfortable because of how it kind of played out. But I mean, yeah, that was that. If Steve wanted to be alone with Donna, then he should have made that clear. Like, oh, I'm talking to Donna, right? It's really no nice way to say it, right? Huh? I mean, yeah, there's really no nice way to say I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm just talking to her. But again, had you have made clear who your connections were before you got there, you probably wouldn't be feeling this kind of pressure during the house trip, because this usually happens when you have too many connections. We have a scene where Lauren is talking to Bellow. And while I feel like Bellow gave her some good advice, it wasn't very realistic, especially when it comes to this show. But Lauren is feeling some type of way that Bellow might be going to sleep in the room with Dominique. She tells us early on that she noticed Dominique put his stuff in her room. And if they do sleep together, being that he's one of her connections, she is going to have to say something because she feels some type of way about it. So when she's talking to Bellow, she's letting Bellow know that she's kind of just going to fall back and let Bellow decide if he wants her or if he's going to choose her, because she's not really sure if she wants to act on anything with him, given some of his connections with other people might be stronger. And I don't want to feel like I'm kind of coming after you. And Bellow says you should feel free to do whatever it is that you want to do when it comes to me. Like, show your emotion, show that you like somebody, like, don't fall back. I don't think that's the right thing to do. But I felt like it was a bit hypocritical because Bellow does know he has this connection with Dominique. And so asking Lauren to stay in it and step forward and show that she likes him is a little bit of a, I don't know, like kind of setting her up for false hope. And Bellow is just trying to make it seem like, I don't really know. I have connections with these other people. I'm still trying to figure things out myself. But, I want to know how you feel about me. I don't think the thing to do would be to shrink back. And in a perfect world, I think that's true. I think as women, it's nice to be able to show how you feel about a person and let them know how much you like them and be really forward with them. Like, I definitely wish in the past there were guys I could be like, you know what, I like you. I want to be with you. And I could just put that out there. But sometimes you feel guarded. You want to protect yourself because they're seeing other people, or they may not, you're not sure if they want the same things that you want, But I do think in regards to a dating show, Lauren can make how much she enjoys him or likes him known. She can put it out there, leave the ball in his court. But she doesn't have to do any chasing of him. But something about Lauren this episode was really off to me. Did anybody else notice it? I felt like she seemed upset. She seemed out of sorts. Sometimes it seemed like she was on the verge of tears. In this conversation with Bellow, she seemed a little anxious, and in her conversation with Vince, she seemed upset as well. So I was just a bit confused about her emotions at the house in general, and if there were some other things going on with her. Not too much here. Ashley and Cardi ride Cardi's hoverboard. Ashley ain't got the balance to be on no hoverboard, and I don't blame sis. Skates is about the only thing on wheels that you gonna catch me on outside of a car. I don't have good balance. I can't hold my weight very well. So skates, a car, that's about it. Maybe a little golf cart situation, not even a bike. I can't. Anyways, they're outside. It's really not too much, you guys. I wouldn't really say they're getting deeper or more intimate. It's just really a bunch of booty grabbing and carrying on. Like, girl, nothing. Darius and that Pomeranian fur is still on her main radar. When they go to dinner that night, someone asked a question about how this experience has shaped them and what have they learned about themselves. Lauren is actually the first person to answer the question, but I want to focus on Cardi's answer. And his answer basically said, I've learned that even when you have really good connections with people and you think they could see these great things in you and people can see certain things in you, some of your great qualities still might not be enough for that person. They may not see those things, or they may feel like those aren't really strong qualities. And everybody's just like, what do you mean? They're trying to get him to go in further detail. And Ashley is like, this is what we talking about. This is why we saying it's shallow. And this offends Cardi. He gets a little upset and he's trying to explain himself. Vince is saying, hey, man, you just got to listen. You got to listen because these are the women you're trying to date. And while Vince was right, I did want him to shut up. Cardi tries to explain himself again. And he was like, no, it's not shallow. I'm basically saying, like, it feels like people are trying to tell me I'm not deep when I definitely am that. Like, I'm definitely deep. I'm not shallow at all. I don't know. He says some kind of slang word that I can't remember. But even when I think I'm being a certain kind of way, it's not being portrayed that way by my connections. I think Cardi's problem is that he speaks a lot in the third person and he speaks very broadly. I understood exactly what he said when he said it. Like, you can think that you have all of these great qualities. You can think that you are a deep person and that you're showing yourself, and your connections really don't see that. But instead, he was talking roundabout, like, I mean, this show has shown me that, you can have connections with people and you can think that people think a certain way about you. Like, quit talking in third person and talk directly. Say, this process has shown me that even though I may think I have all of these great qualities and that I'm deeply emotional and I'm transparent, other people may not perceive me that way. I may not be giving that off when I engage with them. So it's just about talking a little bit more directly about who you are. Cardi doesn't do a good job of that. And some people don't do a good job reading that either. Like, either you talking directly or you not talking at all. And so that's where Cardi was effing up. And, Dominique says she doesn't feel like Cardi is shallow at all. Probably not with her, but with some of the other ladies, maybe so. But that irritated him. So we also move on to Vince and Lauren having a conversation. I'm not sure what Twilight Zone Lauren is living in. Her friends were wrong. All right. And you sitting here trying to defend them. First of all, I wouldn't even have brought it back up. After we talked about it one time, I wouldn't have brought it up again. I feel like it was a moot point. I didn't think it needed to be considered again, especially you bringing it back up on the trip. I just didn't think it needed to be brought back up. I would have left it alone and I would have engaged with Vince like we normally do. To bring it back up and to say that he was doing too much and he was making it a thing, and my friends just asked you a question. He was like, okay, so you're telling me I'm doing too much, but you're not acknowledging what your friend was doing, and you didn't think that was a bit too much, especially after I already answered the question. I disagree with you. And Lauren is saying it wasn't that big of a deal. She disagrees with Vince. She didn't think it was a thing. Like, is this a hill that you're willing to die on, Lauren? Like, I just didn't understand the point of bringing it back up, making it a thing, getting so upset about it. I do think her friends were out of line. I do. Even if they were joking, know when to dare to joke. Like, it's not funny to me. I told you how tall I was. If you don't believe how tall I am, you could be like, well, child, explain it to me. Like, you the only one in on the, I can't stand when somebody want me to laugh at they banter, but you the only one in on the joke. At this point in time, is it a joke? Because I don't know. If I don't damn know about it, then it's not a joke. Now you must be picking on me because I don't know. I can't laugh with you, so I got to assume you laughing at me. But I think that in the moment, because, Vince can come off as, he does like to debate. He does like to have all these conversations. Maybe she saw more of that. Like, maybe they've had I'm not trying to guess for Lauren. Either way, your friends was out of line. And if you was going to do all of that, you would have did better just letting it go entirely and not even bringing it up. I think these two would work excellent as friends. I don't see a romantic connection between the two, even though Bello is talking like he's still interested and, oh, I wouldn't expect you to convert, or you wouldn't have to convert, but I wouldn't expect it right away. Which one is it, Bello? She wouldn't have to convert, or you wouldn't expect it right away? But either way, spiritually, they're not on the same plane, even though they believe in a lot of the same things and have a lot of the same values. Just two people believing in being kind and being good, Ashante, isn't enough. And so I just don't think it's going to be a good matchup. But I think they would be excellent friends. Besides, Bello wants Dom anyway, and they going to have sex on this trip. The next morning, we wake up to Vince trying to get in everybody's business, figure out where everybody slept at. Where did you sleep at? Don't worry about what everybody else doing. You worry about yourself. I cannot stand a nosy, semi-messy mofo. Like, why you getting in everybody's business? Ashley say it's nobody's business. We know Dom and Bello slept together. Whatever. In the end, they end up doing this activity where after you paint your little, it's Steve's activity. After you paint your little plant, you give it off to your connections or who you have the strongest connection to. And I do believe that Donna is not going to get anything from Steve. And so that is going to be interesting to see on next week. And then after that, we will see who's going to go home. So what did you guys think about this episode? Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next one. Bye.